Your number one of 21 is actually crooked. Can you fix that?
Is it actually?
Yeah, it is. Thank you. All right.
Oh my goodness.
That's good now.
Welcome to this episode of Expressions of Podcast. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're doing something a little different. It's just Aurora and apparently the chameleon, Spiderman villain or something. So I don't really know what's going to be happening. This episode is about embarrassing moments.
Yes.
So Aurora had some ideas on this, and I have to admit, I don't really get embarrassed easily. It takes quite a bit. I think because I'm kind of stupid. It takes a while for it to sink in, and then it's like, oh, did that just happen? Nerf. You know what I mean? Like, so maybe I don't feel the instant embarrassment. Aurora, what are your thoughts?
Oh man, I feel like I get embarrassed daily on like little things, and I'm the type of person that I like ruminate on like the way I said something. And like I'm embarrassed like maybe the way that I said it, because maybe it came out like I was mad at them, or it came out like I was I don't know, it puts me in a different light than I'm wanting to put in it. So I get very easily embarrassed. So I would say I'm probably the opposite side of the spectrum than you, Brian. I get embarrassed so easy.
It's kind of fun too, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it a couple times. That worked.
Yeah.
But we also have somebody else who's here with us tonight, Mr. Chameleon.
Yeah.
What's going on with you? Why can't we see you?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to see me, I can share my camera if you want.
Well, I don't know. It might embarrass Aurora.
I don't know.
No.
All right, you ready?
All right, make it happen.
Oh my goodness. That's awesome.
Oh, I can't wait to edit this. And then put that the little clip that we recorded before. Oh, anyway, it's gonna be great.
It's so good.
Sean, good to see you, buddy.
That's
Talking about embarrassing moments, and I'm wearing a skin-tight spandex suit.
Like any other day. It's just another Monday.
Fun Monday.
Oh, that's great. Well, so what's the deal here? What's with the Spidey suit?
So you guys remember last week or I guess last episode we recorded, I told you that I was getting a new suit, and here we are. This is it.
It's brilliant.
Amazing.
So I feel extremely fucking manly in this. I know why heroes wear fucking tight outfits. It makes me feel really good. I don't know if I like it or if I love it. It's weird.
I don't know if I like it or I love it. There's no not like it option. Oh, that's great, man. Well, hey, it's custom fit for you, so it looks good.
It's actually like, well, I'd stand up, but there's there's things that shouldn't be shown on YouTube probably. So definitely not standing up.
What do you think of that, Aurora?
I mean, it's awesome that you've got this. I know that you were saying that you're potentially going to go to Fan Expo.
Mm-hmm. I'm going, and this is what I'm wearing. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to have a lot of fun with that. Fan Expo is fun.
Tons of fun.
I think I need another Saturday off in August, Aurora.
To go to Fan Expo. I only went the one time as like a vendor, and I was able to like after my shift. For Henry's last year, we did a vendor booth, and I went there 2 days, and yeah, it turned out it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun for sure. Was it 2 days or 1 day? Yeah, but it was definitely a fun experience for sure. I liked, hanging out with all different types of people in costume. I've been to Anime North quite frequently, so it just reminded me of like a bigger, crazier, busier Anime North.
I would like to do it. I've always wanted to go and photograph something like that. But it's funny, growing up, I remember seeing a lot of things, a lot of these people getting dressed in suits and outfits and dressing up. And, I remember it as being like, what is wrong with these people? Like, that's kind of my first reaction when I was first introduced to this. I remember watching, what was it, a CSI episode where they had the murder of somebody, and they it was a coyote or something, and they tossed him to the side of the road. And anyway, long story short, things have changed for the good.
Yeah.
And wearing this kind of stuff, I just see as so freeing. And there's a lot of things that I'm very happy that, people can just be themselves these days. Like, for example, I have a slight change in what I'm kind of putting out there to the world these days, because I'm feeling different. I'm feeling like you can just be you now. I've been doing this I Shoot For Me hashtag since 2017. And now that's kind of bled into my whole I am me. And it's just, it's a cool thing. And Sean, that's what I was saying about you. I think it's so cool that you don't feel embarrassed. You feel positive, and it's a great thing.
I feel like a
that you
fucking
can
man, dude. For some reason, man, like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, as a kid, this is what I dreamed of. This entire okay, maybe not this exact one, but like, I've dreamed of owning something like this my whole life. Ever since my dad got me into, like, being a fucking nerd, this has been my dream. And the fact that I own a skin tight spandex suit of my own, I'm on top of the world, man.
That's awesome. Oh, where did Laura go? She's so embarrassed. She'd shut her camera off.
I'm not embarrassed.
Okay,
I started laughing because the way that you put it, I own a skin tight spandex suit of my own.
It is. It's skin tight. Like, if I were to send all of the pictures that I took of me in the suit, there's a lot of them, and it was like within an hour. It was really bad. Like, I was just like getting into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I were to send them all to the chat, you'll very quickly notice the parts of myself that I really fucking hate. But like, the rest of me, I'm like, this is the fucking greatest thing ever. Like, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I just randomly started doing push-ups in my bedroom last night, every night before I go to bed. I'm gonna do them tonight because I'm not very muscular, and the webhead is. So I gotta fill out the suit somehow, and here we are. I'm doing it a couple weeks before Fan Expo. I don't know why, but whatever.
Both of you have great motivation for getting into shape. I envy that.
Mm-hmm.
My motivation is I'm getting older. So, I'm starting to try and eat better and stuff. But yeah, my level of exercise is pretty much just stretches and trying to stay, flexible and stuff. But you both are going full bore.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Sean's doing push-ups, which is awesome. That's full bore for me. And you're also talking about doing some stuff with John. So
yes.
Possibly,
yeah, we're fucking, well, I mean, he wants to go to the gym, but he wants me to go do Muay Thai with him now. And I'm terrified of it.
I'm considering asking to be a part of that.
What is that?
By all means. Muay Thai, it's like mixed martial arts. It's kind of like boxing, sort of.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, if I can, I'll try and pull up a photo of him now, but like, seeing him in his like gear, and like seeing his videos of him, like, boxing with a punching bag, like I didn't think I was afraid of him before, but like I'm definitely afraid of him now. Like, here, I'll show you. Like, this is what he looks like with his wraps on.
Wow, he's lost a lot of weight.
I love him to death. He's fucking great.
He's really, really done quite a transformation.
You know what? He's actually been working out a lot, and he's been, sparring and shit now, and
good for him.
He's looking really good. Like, I've never seen the man so confident in my entire life, and it's really good to see him, start winning.
I'm going to give you a quick plug because you guys do it every time you do a podcast. But the Planet Pointless podcast is awesome, and if anybody wants to have a good detachment from the stress and the frustration of the world, and listen to two guys vent and be honest and just have a good time conversation, and that are actually funny people, check out the Planet Pointless podcast because it's a lot of fun, and I'm glad you guys are back doing it. And you can hear it in John's voice as well. He sounds happier. So that's
it's you know what? It's definitely a new it's a new feeling, like being back, like in person, but actually having like proper equipment to do the podcast with. So to me, it's, like I didn't care. Like I was going to see him regardless. Like me and him, we chill on a constant basis. We always go for coffee. Like we're trying to hang out as much as we can because we're best friends. So now that we can do this in person and we have the mics, thanks to you guys.
Thanks to you. You paid the money.
Well, yeah, I paid the money, but you guys helped. You got to take credit, man. Take credit when credit's due. Never worked for free, Brian. But no,
right.
it's fun to do, and I'm glad that we're back, and we just put out our first episode. By the time I guess this comes out, we're gonna have a couple of episodes out by then. But at this point in time, currently, as I'm saying this, we've had one episode come back out, and there's been a lot of good feedback.
Nice.
The response to everybody sharing the post that we were coming back was exponential. So it was great. It's good to know that people actually missed the two of us fucking morons. So it was good. It was a good time.
That's awesome.
Congrats. Nothing embarrassing about that at all. So let's move to another conversation because that's just far too cool. Aurora, what kind of embarrassing moments? Actually, no. Before we do that, you know the way I am, guys. I want to find out, where does the word come from? What does it mean? Right? What's the origin of this word? Late 16th century, apparently, in embarrass, the French embarrasseur, from Spanish, probably from Portuguese, originally with reference to animals being restrained by a cord or leash.
Terrifying.
What?
That makes me not happy to be Portuguese at all.
Yeah. Now, that is absolutely nothing to do with what we know of it today. Obviously, embarrassing moments are not that. I don't even know what that meant. Everything I find is not a proper definition. Cause someone to feel awkward, self-conscious, or ashamed. I guess that's a good way to think of it. And that's how we all know of it, right? But I guess the origin is from what? Apparently originally with reference to animals being restrained by a cord or leash. No correlation in my mind. If anybody knows the answer to this one, get in touch with us. We don't have Mark, our resident searcher-upper.
I wonder where that link happened from, the animals being restrained to being, just like, as we know, the definition of embarrassed now or embarrassing now, like how?
Yeah, the etymology of that word is kind of funny. Perplex, throw into doubt, from French embarrasseur, meaning to hamper, to hinder, from the mid-1680s, meaning make someone feel awkward, is attested by 1809. The original sense is preserved in basically it's all the same crap. Basically, it's when people get embarrassed, is you make them feel stupid, and then they feel awkward, or something happens that makes you feel ashamed, or feels, I don't know. Aurora, maybe you can pitch in here. What would you classify it being embarrassed as? Because I think everybody has different levels.
Yeah, I don't know. I just I can get easily embarrassed by things that I do or something that happens. Like I'm a bit of a klutz, so some of the time, so I'm dropping things or bumping into things, or mixing up things on a regular basis. So that's definitely, that would be good criteria for that. But yeah, I mean, it's, I guess, just feeling like having a moment, whether it's like you're interacting with someone or something or whatever it may be, and you just feeling kind of like awkward and and weird as a result of that. And then my afterthought of that is just like getting in my head about feeling awkward or having that awkward moment. So
yeah, getting in your head, I think, is probably the hardest. That's what it's all about. I mean, being embarrassed is, I guess, because we have a lot of thoughts of ourselves in our head, and something goes contrary to what we want people to see, and bing bang boom, embarrassed. Sean, I don't think you get embarrassed too easily, do you?
I mean, I do. I have the capability of being embarrassed very easily, but I'm like after doing Planet Pointless with John and sharing all of my fucking wacky and crazy life stories, I've started to really not give a fuck. Like I honestly don't even care. Like I posted some of the photos of me in this, and a bunch of my buddies and especially like friends from work and shit and were like they were like making fun of me and like playing the Spider-Man theme song while I was working or whatever. And I just kind of embraced the fact that I'm human and I'm allowed and I'm able to be weird as shit. So things that normally would embarrass the average human, I quite frankly don't give a shit about anymore. So it's nice to be able to walk around and like stop being worried about shit because like
That's true.
who gives a shit?
It's true. It's true. And I think there's a lesson to be learned from that. I was trying to think back to embarrassing moments. Like Aurora, you asked about this, and and I said, I don't really have very many embarrassing moments. I mean, I think we all do. I just have a horrible memory, so it's just not coming to mind. But if I have to look back and think of a moment that's embarrassing, oh man, I think I'm gonna have to pass. I'm gonna have to let somebody go first and try and stir up a memory.
Okay, I will go because this one is forever in my head as one of the most embarrassing things that's ever happened to me. So years ago, I think it was elementary school, like late elementary school, grade 7, grade 6, something like that. And I would regularly, during the summers, go to visit my cousin, Megan, who I'm still close with now. I see her, from time to time, and her little baby is very cute. But we were very close as like when we were younger because we both lived in Oshawa. We were both in and around the same age. Like she's only 6 months older than me, and we were always doing things together because we were close and stuff like that. So as I got older, we moved away. There was less and less of those kind of times. But during the summer, I would go and visit and hang out with her and my aunt and uncle and all of that at their place out there. And they would regularly go to church on the weekends. So they would go to like these Christian churches. They'd have different churches that they went to at different times. But this particular one, this church, it was on a Sunday. We all went together, and it's a Christian church. So I guess it's a little bit maybe more relaxed than like your typical Catholic or whatever kind of ceremony. But at the end of it, they had like this little like brunch breakfast kind of thing and like a little fair after with different things to do, like take pictures and buy little trinkets and stuff like that. So there was I was out and about looking around at all these things, and I went over to the snack table, and there is this huge like one of those kind of like big containers where there's like the little button or like the little pull tab so that you can pour yourself something to drink. So there's this punch in this thing. So this was the style that didn't have the push down. It had like a little button. You press the button down.
Like a thermos kind of cooler type thing.
It's thermos cooler, but with like a lot of juice in it.
A lot of juice.
A lot of juice in it.
All the juice.
All the juice. So I was basically the way that this place was laid out was there's like the front of the church. There were steps down or steps up if you want to go outside. So it's like the church, you go into this like landing area. There was a little table with the food and everything, and then there were steps up and then out to like the parking lot and everything. So this table was there. I went to go get some juice and different snacks. I picked up the cup, and there was one guy who was grabbing snacks like just down at the other end of the table. So I went to go press the button for the juice, and the button, I guess I pressed it too hard, and the button popped off of the juice and then a little spring came out. And then all of a sudden, juice started coming out everywhere. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Right, so I'm freaking out. And I'm like trying to like cover it. I'm trying to do
Stick
something.
gum
I'm
in
like,
it.
where did the button go? Right. And this guy's like right next to me. And he's trying to figure out what happened because all of a sudden there's juice gushing out everywhere. And he's trying to help. And he's like trying to find the button and stuff too. But there was enough of it that there was like a thin layer of juice in this like lowered area
Oh no.
on the ground. By the time that the juice was all out, we couldn't figure out how to fix it.
It just ran itself right out.
It just ran itself right out.
Nobody
So I had
like
juice
grabbed a
all over
bucket
me.
and
I
put
had
the
juice all
bucket
over
under
me,
there.
and then in the thing, and it was. I'd never met this guy before, and he's like trying to help me, and we're covered in juice.
Oh my!
And it was the first time I went to my cousin's church. We never went back. Or I never went back. So I don't know if they changed churches because they were embarrassed. Probably not. But it was definitely like forever is one of the most embarrassing moments. And it must have been the way I did it. Like I must have pressed too hard or whatever it may be, but I always kick myself. And the way I reacted in the moment, I was just like, for a second there, I was just like staring because I didn't know what to do. I'm like, oh my gosh. And yeah, so
wow,
very embarrassing.
That kind of embarrassment changes lives.
Yeah, I will always remember that moment. Like there's no way that I forget how I feel in that moment. It's still with me as one of the most embarrassing things. But yeah.
I'm going as you're talking, I'm coming up with all these
Ideas.
times in my life that I actually was embarrassed. Yeah.
There you go. See?
Open the floodgates, Brian.
No. I will go. I've got like a ton of stories now.
How about you, Sean? Because I know we heard the one where with the weed whacker. So maybe not.
Oh yeah, with the dog shit in my nose.
Oh
yeah. I would say that's a pretty embarrassing moment.
It's a gross moment, is what it is.
Oddly enough, a lot of my embarrassing moments start with flatulence and end with the solid form of that. So, I got a couple actually. I mean, if you guys
form of that.
Okay, so one of them. I'll give you guys two just for shits because I know one of them we explained on an episode recently of Planet Pointless. John and I got into it, and it was like I had to explain the science of it all, and then after the episode, I was telling this to Brian earlier. I was like, after the episode, I actually had to physically show him how the event happened as it unfolded from my perspective, and John to this day is still clueless as to how the fuck that happened. But I had to explain it, and he still doesn't get it. So that's okay. We'll work it out eventually when we're like fucking 60 or something.
Well, we will hear that full explanation on a future episode of Planet Pointless.
Yes. Actually, the next episode, believe it or not, this would be 89, believe it or not, when we come back.
Wow.
So we're getting there. 100 episodes, and that's when I'm going to get somebody to wax my chest on air.
That makes no sense.
It doesn't, but fuck it.
It's an audio podcast.
Oh man. Anyways, okay. So the first one I got, because I gotta share a couple with you, because I got a ton of them. The first one was it was in grade 9, and I didn't have exams my first semester, but I had them the second semester. This was like just before summer break. So everyone's getting like all hot and bothered, going to fucking, let's go party, la, la, like all this other shit, right? So me being a fucking nerd with no friends at the time, I was, by myself in a room full of people that I didn't like and that didn't like me, and we were doing an exam. So the room was extremely and uncomfortably quiet.
Oh no.
So me, midway through my exam, had a sneeze coming on. So I was like, it's just a sneeze.
No.
And that's where I was very fucking wrong.
Oh.
So I sneezed and let out one of the most blood-curdling farts at the same time. And I didn't realize until I looked up and everyone was looking in my direction. So my immediate reaction was to do this. And there was nobody behind me at all. So I just looked around and I was like, what the fuck was that? Some asshole talking shit in here? Like, did anybody else hear that? Was that just me? Like, what the fuck?
Did you get away with
it? So that was fun.
Did you get away with it? Did they believe you?
No, they knew full well that I damn near
no
shit
getting out of
myself
that.
basically in the middle of my first grade 9 exam.
Oh.
That was a fun
geez.
intro to people.
You know, that'll either really get you ostracized worse or make you really good friends.
I made nerd friends after the fact, and when I told them that story, they were like, "Where were we? We would have had a laugh." And I was like, "Damn it! Like,
Where were you?"
They were younger than me, so they were in a grade. They came into Huron, my high school, a year after, I guess, because I was in grade 10, and that's when I met all my nerd friends who, drool over this shit all the time. So, anyways, I sneezed and I farted. Grade 9 exam, really quiet room. Everyone looked at me. I had a laugh.
I gotta say, both of your memories are so vivid. The whole story leading up to it, like the adrenaline must have just been flowing with you guys because you remember the smells. You remember the floor was wet, Aurora, like the whole area.
Oh yeah, my socks. Like I had socks on, and they were like soaked in juice. I'll never forget.
Oh my god, socks.
Man,
juice soaked socks.
I got one more. And this is a funny one because I haven't told. I used this as stand up once, so this was part of my routine. And some of my stand up was a lot of me talking about moments of fecal matter. So, here goes. So me and John, actually, we were all hanging out. We had this huge group. We went to Markville Skate Park, or Markham Skate Park, which is right beside the Markville Mall. So at the time, I think I was about, I want to say 18, maybe 19. I can't remember, but pretty sure 18. So anyways, we all go and we're having a good time. And about, 3-4 o'clock ish, roughly, everybody was like, "Hey, like, guys want to get some food?" Yeah, sure, fuck it, why not? So we all go, and me and a buddy of mine, Jarek, we decided to go to Taco Bell. So you can already imagine where this story is going because it's fun. It's a fun time. So my friend Jarek and I, we were the only two guys to go get Taco Bell. And we mucked a couple of beef burritos, and it was a good time. It felt good. I was like, I'm energized. I'm ready to go back, and let's go get some clips. Let's film. Let's do this. Let's do that. Like, I'm ready. So before we had gotten up from the table, one of the guys
foreshadowing here is just. I mean, you just say Taco Bell, and you know what's going to happen.
You know it's going to be bad, and it was very bad. But I made the best of it afterwards.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's all good, man. Interrupt away. Like, you got any questions? I'm more than happy to answer.
Were you wearing the Spidey suit?
No, I'm really glad because this would have been a lot of money wasted.
Oh,
jeez.
So anyways, we get up from the table, and one of my buddies was like, "Hey, let's go to Walmart." Like, there was a Walmart in the mall. They were like, "Let's go look for like tech decks and like Hot Wheels and shit," because like we're just a bunch of degenerate teenagers, potheads and drunkards or whatever, just fucking doing some hood rat shit, right? So we walked there. So from the food court to the Walmart, from what I remember, is about 200-300 meters, roughly. In my brain, that's what it felt like. It felt like 15 kilometers, honestly, by the time we were halfway through, because I was beating sweat at this point. So almost instantaneously, the Taco Bell was starting to immediately deteriorate the inside of my body. So whatever hell was about to let loose, I was doing my best, and I was sweating at it trying to withhold my inner demon.
I'm just imagining the fear. Because if you let loose anything, all hell will unleash.
If I unclinched even like a
Oh,
third of a micrometer, it would have been fucking like a tsunami, like
dude, you're
bad.
making me have to go to the bathroom right now.
Oh, just wait. The story gets worse. So we all collectively, there was about eight or 10 of us. We all collectively went into the men's bathroom. There's a bunch of dudes, right? We all just went to the men's bathroom, and I took a stall, and another 2 guys took a stall, and the rest of them, they didn't really have any issues because they all had sushi and they were fine. So I'm in a stall. Yeah, I'm the last one left in the bathroom. Okay, like John was doing skateboard tricks and they were filming it in the bathroom, like, because again, degenerates. We were just being hood rats for no reason. So, anyways, I'm the last one left, still conducting my meeting in the Oval Office. And as I'm, coming to the conclusion of said hell, I was. I'm sorry, Aurora, but I'm going to get really graphic here for a minute. Mid-wipe. And I looked up, and there's John's hand holding a turned-off camcorder above the stall. Turned off, okay, mind you.
Oh, no.
And I got so scared that I jolted back, and I dunked my hand in mountain of my own shit.
Oh no!
So there's such a better story than I thought it would be.
I proceeded to scream like a girl at the top of my lungs. You motherfucker! I stuck my hand in my own shit.
Oh no!
And all of my buddies are outside because they were all quiet, right? Because they knew John was doing this. And I love John to death. I can never be mad at him for this because this is one of the main stories that gets the biggest laughs all the time. It was a nightmare in the moment, but like now I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. So anyways, I did that.
That's a deal breaker. Never talk to the guy again. I'd move after that. I would leave the country. I would have left the country.
The best
move to a different colony somewhere.
The best part, Brian, is that to this day he still doesn't understand the science behind how it happened. So I had to explain it to him. And if you guys listen, like if you've listened back enough into Planet Pointless, you know that I have it's clinically diagnosed. It's called lazy bowel syndrome. You know, people have irritable bowel syndrome. I have lazy bowel syndrome. So that means I don't. Yeah, I just don't go for like a week and a half at a time.
Oh, wow.
I'm still here, dude. Like, I'm still alive somehow. I don't understand it, but my body is just like a fucking tank, apparently. It's wild. But that's a story for another time off show. Anyways, so whatever came out of me was like a buildup. A buildup. I'm not going to get into specifics, but if I were to have closed the lid, it would have sat open about this much off the seat. It was locked. Anyways, I'm so sorry, Aurora.
I guess Taco Bell is a catalyst.
But it's fun.
See,
anyways.
So why do people do that? So this used to happen a lot in like elementary school and high school where your friend would like peek over the stall and like scare you as you were in the bathroom. Like that happened to me so many times, especially in elementary school. And I remember the first time it happened in elementary school, I was like so shocked and like thrown off, like again, scared, like what you said, like you like literally jump and you're like, what, where, what's going on, right? And I don't know, I just don't know why like kids and teenagers and whatnot have this like urge to do this to their friends.
I couldn't tell you. And to this day, I still don't understand why John did it, but he did it, and it's one of the greatest stories I can ever tell. Especially after, because I scrubbed my hands like both of them. I mean, you need one to wash the other. So I was just scrubbing the one hand like a son of a bitch. And then at the end of the, like, I guess when we were walking out of the mall, I was so embarrassed. I was like, I can't believe this just fucking happened. So the guys were calling me chocolate fingers and all this other shit. Like, it was a whole.
No.
By the time we got to the skate park, we got back, and I was, was doing my thing. I was going ham. I was, throwing myself down shit, and people were loving it, right? Like, they were like, "Yo, like, you're so good," and la la la. So me, being an idiot, I just started giving people high fives for no reason. Everybody's laughing. That was in the bathroom at the time. They're all laughing because they know the hell that just happened. And I'm like, yeah, fuck it, just giving people high fives.
So moral of the story is never give Sean a high five.
Now, I mean, I've pretty much burnt the fucking fecus off my hand, so I'm good. Like, we're chilling. I've shaken your hand so many times. It's all good.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Touché, my friend.
I disinfected very well. You know that.
Mind you, there has been COVID since then too, and there's been a lot of disinfectant. So it's all
a lot of hand sanitizer.
Unbelievable. Well, I can honestly say I don't have so many vivid details of my stories. I have like footnotes. Like there was one time when I was working in a stereo store in Oshawa, in the Oshawa Center. And back in the day, I used to wear suits to work, like proper suits. And in that day, those suits had big shoulders. And I looked like, early 90s kind of from Aha or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so I mean, my whole diet pretty much consisted of hot dogs at the time. There was a Loblaws across the way in the mall, and I'd go and get a package of hot dogs for $2 and a buns for $1 and then some mustard for $2. And I'd sit there for a week, and that's what I would have. Because I'm sure, Sean, you might kind of relate to where I was at that point in time. Mm-hmm. So life kind of sucked, and that's what I ate. Anyway, long story short, my suit happened to be very mustard colored. A very mustard color that I bought in a store in the mall there. And so I was trying to get the mustard out and put it on my hot dog, and it just exploded everywhere. I didn't actually take the seal off of the thing. And so it was open, and I'm trying to squeeze it, and I squeezed so hard, it literally, the lid popped off, and the whole thing all over the place. I mean, that was fun for my coworker, Errol. He enjoyed that.
You ever see those videos where people have like the glass like ketchup bottles, and they're like, they're tapping on the bottom, but like there's this one, and it's stuck in my brain because it's one of the funniest videos I've seen like to date. And this guy is like trying to get the ketchup out, but he has the bottle like in a different position, so he's doing it like this. So he did it, he flicked it. And I guess I can't remember if it was his girlfriend or his friend that was sitting next to him.
Oh, no.
So he's trying to get it out, but he flicked it, and the ketchup just went all over the other person.
That would have been better. I wish that mustard had gone on Errol. That would have been, if I had been squeezing it the other way. I had to get that suit dry clean. That wasn't fun. I guess it wasn't embarrassing for me, but it was certainly embarrassing for the girl. When I was younger, I lived in Mississauga for a while, and there was a house behind us that had a pool. And I was 13, 12 years old at the time. So I wasn't really old enough to go swimming with the big kids. So like my older brother, Mike and Brian, they went over, and I don't know if Josie was there at the time. Anyway, all the bigger kids were over swimming with these people, and the daughter of that house she was voluptuous. Let's just say this. And here I am looking out my room window, overseeing the pool and all my brothers having fun with these people. And this girl jumped into the pool, and the whole top came down, and I saw everything. And I think that was one of those imprint moments for me. You know what I mean?
I can't stand up right now because I have the mental image of what you're getting.
Dude, it was
It's a good one.
I mean, at 12 or 13 years old, it imprinted. And so let's just see. I don't even think she knew I saw. Everybody in the pool area saw, and she was like, "Oh my God," the whole thing. But yeah, that would have been more embarrassing for her than me. And then I think ultimately the most embarrassing, absolutely the most embarrassing moment in my life, and it was truly, truly embarrassing. And I've talked about it on the show before, so that's why I kind of leave it to last, and I'll just whatever. But it's the time that I went for Chinese food in Vermont with a girl that I'd been trying to date for 3 years, and my friend dated her, my friend's brother dated her. I finally got a chance to date her. We're going on this date, and we go to the restaurant nearby, 45 minutes away or so. In Vermont, everything was very far apart. And this Chinese food place we wanted to go to. So we order our food, and we leave. And when we get in the car, I guess the owner's son, I think, is who was serving us. And I think he had some learning disabilities of some kind. And he ran out to the car after us, knocking on the window, going, "Tip, tip, $1, $2, tip, tip, $1, $2, yelling at my window, tip, tip, $1, $2. And I'm just like, I'm with my girlfriend. I forgot. I'm sorry. I just put it in gear and I'm just like, I'm out of here. Just get gone. That relationship did not work out. Yeah, that didn't last past that night, I think. And it's funny though, because I'm friends with her on Facebook now, and it's just kind of funny. Anyway, life. Right?
I mean, when you lost that, you found Shelly, so that's a plus.
Yeah, years later, I went through hell and torture in my mind over that for years, though, because that was awful. I mean, what kind of idiot? And this is carrying forward to today. I am just as stupid today as I was then. Aurora can attest to this. I make the most stupid mistakes that you wouldn't think anybody should make, and it's like, why? How am I still alive? Sometimes I wonder. Walking across the street, not hit by a car. Didn't look. Who knows? Anyway, yeah. So embarrassing moments are fun. I wish Mark was here so we can hear his.
Oh, Mark's probably got some fucking good ones.
I know.
The way you tell him would probably be fucking a knee slapper.
I think the next episode we should still ask Mark for a couple of his most embarrassing moments.
I'll have to remember to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the week, Mark, you got to prepare us a couple of good embarrassing stories.
He'll probably never come back. What was that, Sean?
I said, I'm here wearing a Spiderman suit. All right, you have to. Mandatory.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, how do you avoid embarrassment? I guess it's just like Sean says. You just kind of have to be, I don't know if it's, no, it has nothing to do with being confident with yourself. Aurora, you're extremely confident with yourself. It has nothing to do with that. No. Uh-oh, there was a face. You don't think you are?
I don't think I'm confident at all. I was like the most, I've gotten more confident as I've gotten older. I got more confident, after being in the relationship with Andrew. Like, he really helped build up my confidence, because I was
Shout out to Andrew. That dude is awesome.
He really is.
He really is.
But yeah, I mean, even still to this day, like, there's times where like I'm not super confident in myself. I've gotten a lot better, but yeah, I feel like confidence is one thing for sure, and then not as Sean was saying, it's not like caring what other people think, because chances are most people are not going to be thinking about that or remembering that. They're going to be remembering what they were doing and how they were doing that. So that's how I get myself out of that funk, is like, okay, I'm constantly worrying about myself and like how I'm doing things and whatnot. So me worrying about this, I'm sure the other person is only worrying about their things and how they handled situations. So it shouldn't really weigh on my mind as much as it does.
Yes.
Right?
That's truth right there.
Yeah.
I always say, I heard it, I think it was a Brian Tracy sales training thing, self-help thing, whatever. WIIFM. Everybody's always listening to their own radio station, WIIFM. What's in it for me, right? Everybody we come in contact with is always thinking about what's in it for me, what's in it for me. Every conversation you have with somebody, that's what's going on in everybody's brain. Why am I listening to this conversation? Why am I part of this? what about what this person is saying is important for me? And that's so relevant to embarrassment in a way, because when you're only thinking about what's in it for me or the people you're talking to are, you can have confidence in saying to yourself, look, I'm just me. I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing this for you. I don't have to explain to you. I don't have to worry about, how you feel about this situation, because you're probably not even listening. Mm-hmm. You're doing your own thing. Like all the people around you might have been, splashed by the juice, but do you think they're actually thinking about it today?
I don't know. I feel like that guy, like, even though he had no idea who he was, like who I was, I feel like he'll think about that moment.
I can imagine.
Because it's very memorable.
I remember that girl.
Did you?
How did she break the thing?
And then he probably thinks about, like, I don't know, in my head I would think about, like, why were we even looking for, like, the button and the spring? Like, it doesn't make sense, because there's no way we would have been able to put it back together.
The juice is flying out with the spring. Oh my god.
Anyway,
I don't know why somebody just didn't grab a bucket. Just put the bucket in the thing.
Yeah.
But no, like I with the whole like confidence thing though.
Yeah.
I honestly, I'm not confident in myself like whatsoever. I'm dead serious. Like I say this a lot because I remember hearing it somewhere, and it's resonated with me. And I think I've said it on the show before, but we're like, we as humans are our own worst critic. You know what I mean? So like we can do something completely stupid and fucked up, or weird and out of place, right? And at the end of the day, you're the only person that's able to judge what you're doing, right? So I judge myself, especially my body, a lot, especially if I'm like going on a date with a new girl or whatever, if I get to that point. But like, to me, I'm always like constantly thinking about shit like that, right? Like when I took photos of myself in this suit, I realized like I have no ass. It's my back and then it's my legs. Why?
Have you met me? I've got an inverted ass. Right? It goes this way. Shelly's the only person I know that can find it, and I don't know how she does. I don't mean in that way. I mean like she'll pinch my ass or something.
I'm honestly surprised that
smack me on the ass.
I'm surprised I haven't fallen off my chair yet. Like it's so it's literally just my back, and then it's my leg. It's an extension of some sort of a crack.
Hilarious.
So I'm so not confident about my body whatsoever. And so many people have been like, no, like, come on. Like, it's, they can tell you all this other shit. But at the end of the day, you only believe what you tell yourself. Yeah. You know what I mean? So some of the biggest lies happen like 5 inches from the mirror. You know what I mean? So you can tell yourself a bunch of different shit, but like, it's up to you to believe the shit about yourself. So when I put this on for the first time, like Robin, we opened it together, and I was like, I'm so pumped to put this on, because like I've always wanted, like I've wanted this suit specifically for the last like year and a half, right? So when I put it on, I was petrified, because I was like, I'm gonna take photos, I'm gonna put it on Facebook, Instagram, you name it, I'm putting it on there. And the second I looked at myself in the mirror, I've never felt like more of a fucking man in my entire life. And to me, it took that split second of looking at myself in the mirror, looking like an absolute idiot in a skin tight outfit, to be like, I'm really comfortable right now. You know what I mean? So like everybody else telling me like, you look great, blah, 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 like you're hot, you're this, you're that. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, I'm like I get freaked out. But seeing myself in the mirror and being able to look at myself and tell myself in my own brain, like, dude, you look fucking good in that thing. You know what I mean? Like wearing this right now, not an issue. I feel fantastic wearing this. Am I dying right now? Absolutely. It's hot here. I'm very hot right now. So, I probably shouldn't have worn a shirt and shorts underneath this, but I did it. Short notice.
Sean, you brought up a lot of really, I think, very important things. First of all, you reminded me at the beginning of your conversation about when Shelly and I go out, and I always thinks Shelly looks amazing. She takes her time. She makes herself look good. She makes herself feel presentable. So she's confident when we go out. But she's always worried about going to places and stuff like that. And then we go to a Walmart and she looks around and she's like, and I was worried about how I look. You know, like how you look is so subjective and everybody has their own standards. And, you know, you don't worry about that stuff. Just filter that stuff out. Worry about how you feel. And that's important. And then another thing you mentioned, your confidence, how you felt confident seeing yourself that way and how you don't like taking those kind of compliments and so on from other people. I am exactly the same way. And I think a lot of people are. I was at a wrestling event last night shooting and I'm walking past somebody and some guy goes, Weiss. I'm like, nobody calls me Weiss. He goes, Weiss. I turn around and he goes, I love your photos, man. You're so good. I'm like, holy shit. Like, that's really cool. I mean, that just gives confidence. And I think that's why I'm finally at that place where I can just do what I want to do and, you know, not give a shit, is because I'm getting a lot of positive feedback from this community. And Shelly, I mean, God, Shelly is awesome. She supports so much, right? So
awesome. Having
those kinds of things really helped, I think. And it's only really been this year, Aurora? Even before 2023, I would not have felt this. I mean, when we started this podcast, I wouldn't have felt this way at all.
Yeah.
And that's what you get for giving you compliments or people reaching out to say, hey man, how you doing? Or, you know, like just random kindness from people projecting that on somebody can really be helpful in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Like when I was in the store the other month, right? When I was looking for mics for the podcast, it was me, you, and Aurora just having a chat, right?
By the way, can you pause on that for a quick second? I think your mic is making a crackly sound.
Uh-oh.
So I think if it continues, I mean, sorry for people listening and hearing it, but if it is your mic, then maybe bring it by the store and we can have a quick chat look at it anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Anyways, when I was by the store and you, Aurora, and I, Grammar, we were chatting, and we were talking about how Aurora's going to the gym, and I kind of wanted to start going to the gym, and immediately you were like, "I've noticed a difference in Aurora, and it's fantastic." And then when you brought that up, I also noticed it, you know, by proxy, because I was like, you know, she seems a lot more, you know, more confident. She seems like she's like, you know, a lot more bubbly than, you know, from when I used to listen to, you know, the podcast. And then, you know, when I met her the first time when you had us on, right? Mm-hmm. So I noticed a difference in who she's become as a person and also in, you know, the progress she's making by going to the gym, right? So we both were like, you look fantastic. You look like you feel fantastic. And Aurora got so red in the face, I felt bad.
Yeah. And it's moments like that I get embarrassed too, right? Like, and I don't know why. I don't know why I get embarrassed when someone's complimenting me. But I guess, and I know you guys were saying the same thing, right? Like if you get complimented, you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, well,
it's just like how to react to it, I guess, in a way. But yeah.
Perceive things like that, right? So when people compliment me, like if they do compliment me, I get like weirded out. I'm like, thanks, dude. Like, you know, like whatever. I don't really care, but like I'm the kind of guy that like I will see the perfection in every imperfection in any person that I meet, unless they give me a reason not to. So there's been countless. I've had, again, I hate talking about myself like this, but like I've had a lot of girlfriends. And every single one, like, in the beginning, I was like, right? So it's cool, right? Like I love being that person that's uplifting to other people. I know I look like a douchebag, and on Planet Pointless, I act like a douchebag, but like I love being that guy. Like I love being the hype man. You know what I mean? Like I go to car shows, people who have stock cars. I'm like, dude, this thing's fucking awesome. Like I can't wait to see what you do with it, right? They're like, no, it's just this, it's just that. I'm like, dude, I don't care. It's awesome. The fact that you bring it out, fantastic. You know what I mean? Like being the hype man is good because then you inspire that confidence in other people.
It's extremely important.
Exactly. So I was actually going to, you know what? I was going to actually issue that challenge because now that we're talking about embarrassing shit and we're at almost an hour of recording, can I issue the challenge now?
Sure.
Awesome. I want people that are listening and or watching to this episode to inspire confidence in at least 10 people, whether you know them or not. Like, call up your mom. Be like, Mom, I don't even know what you look like today, but you look fantastic. You're doing great. I don't know if it's what you're eating or if, you're working out or, you're going on walks, whatever. You look fantastic. Hang up the phone. That's it. Just leave it at that and inspire that confidence in other people, because you'd be surprised what a compliment does to certain people, especially morons like me wearing a skin-tight spandex suit.
I have something I'd like to say.
Give her.
I was in a drive-thru today, picking up some dinner for the fam. And the young man, as I pulled up, I heard him say, "Oh, where have you been? I'm sitting here doing nothing. Just wasting my time." And I looked at him, and he obviously, I was at the drive and I was just about to pay. I said, "Dude, you're not wasting your time. You're making people happy. You made me happy. You're doing a great job. I appreciate you." And he goes, "Thanks, man. That really made my day." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, good. Enjoy. Have a good time, man. People that do good work should be appreciated. So thank you very much." He's like, "Oh, thank you." And I paid my money and I went on my way. But I agree with you. And I'm trying to be actively the person to do that kind of thing. I'm seeing a lot of angry people out there. And, people need to know when they're doing a good job just as much as they hear when they do a bad job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, don't give a fuck what people think, man. Only worry about the fuck. It's a good time.
Fuck that.
It's life. You're supposed to live it however the fuck you want, right? I mean, like, what's the point of living life if you're constantly worried about what people think of you? It just makes shit worse, right?
Yeah.
So the less you give a shit, much like me, the better you feel.
And if I may say, especially when you do a good job, especially when you are proven to have done a very good job for a very long time, you shouldn't have to be so stressed and worried about those situations where people come down on you for things that are beyond your control or things like that.
Yeah, Brian.
Me?
You have been doing a great job for so long. Ever since I met you, every photo I've gotten from you, flawless.
Well, thank you. But I wasn't talking about me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
this sounds like in reference to something that happened recently at work.
It's in total reference, but I don't want to single you out too badly. But you are awesome. And, you should have that confidence, especially at work.
I agree.
Especially at work. Anything you do outside of work, I love as well. But at work, you have no reason to ever feel embarrassed or like you do anything wrong.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. That helps a bit for sure.
I mean,
yeah, it definitely does. I mean,
when you're
like
number one in every category, Aurora. Every category. Well, pretty the ones that matter.
I 100% agree. Aurora, you're a fantastic human being. If you let anybody tell you otherwise, you're going to have to deal with me.
Spidey.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys are fantastic human beings.
You're fantastic.
I love doing this podcast. And before we get the whole world too mushy and too lovey-dovey, is there anything we would like to say before we say goodnight at the end of this podcast? Aurora, you go ahead.
I'd like to say, even though you may have embarrassing moments in your life, like me with the juice story, even though it's embarrassing in the moment, it's something that I could look back on and laugh at, of like the ridiculousness I can share with people, and they'll have like a fun reaction to as well. So like, even in the moment, if something feels like incredibly embarrassing and like soul crushingly embarrassing, just know that later down the line it's going to be such a positive thing, because you're going to be able to like bond with people on other embarrassing moments and give people joy and laughter. And I think that is just amazing as well. So, and then you also learn something from these experiences as well. So
I wish the bonding with people thing was a little more true, because that booby story, that would have been a whole different that would have been so much better if I was able to bond with her a little bit at 12 or 13 years old. Oh, wow, there would have been some stories. Anyway,
Good
I
Lord.
need help. I'm sorry. Sean, anything you want to say?
Yeah, you know what? for those listening and watching, learn to laugh at yourself. I enjoy laughing at myself, man. It's so much fun. I'll tell these shit stories all day long until I'm blue in the face, man. I'll tell them when I'm on my deathbed, for fuck's sakes. I'll tell them.
It'll be on your tombstone. Remember the shit stories?
I've shit myself numerous times, and then I'll just have like a bunch of ticks just like fucking chilling on there, right? But like, learn to laugh at yourself, right? Like, it's fun, you know. Life isn't meant to be lived so seriously, you know. So if you fuck up a little bit, laugh it off, right? It's hard to sometimes, but I fuck up quite a bit, and you know, even telling these stupid stories about how, you know, I'm a dumbass and I fucking do stupid shit or I shit myself or whatever the fuck. Like, I've learned to laugh at myself, and you know, it feels good. Like, I can, you know, tell these stories confidently, and then when other people laugh, it makes me laugh, and I'm just laughing at,
and that's just positive all around.
Exactly. So laugh at yourself, man. Don't take everything so seriously. Take everything with a grain of salt and fucking be goofy. Embrace your weird shit. Like, do it, man. Like, it's you'd be surprised how freeing it is when you embrace the fact that you can be weird, you can be nerdy, you can, you know, love the shit out of your car, you can, you know, do stupid, crazy shit. Like, enjoy it, laugh at yourself, because life isn't meant to be serious.
And if you don't want to be that guy and you don't want to be all silly and whatever, shut the fuck up. Don't bother the people that do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Be you and enjoy that too. Don't go and project that out to people in a negative way. And I love that. And I think that I'm really glad that we did this, Aurora, this conversation, because I think if nothing else, Expressions is meant to help people kind of be happy and learn to express themselves a little bit better and feel confident about themselves. And through embarrassment, I think there's a lot of learning to be done, and we can gain a lot of confidence through it. And I think this is a pretty valuable conversation. So thank you very much, Sean and Aurora. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Mark couldn't be here with us tonight. And thank you to everybody who has been with us. And don't forget, like this episode, follow our podcast if you'd like to, subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions, reach out, let us know. If you've had an embarrassing moment of your own and you'd like to share it with us, go for it. Put it in the comments or send it to us in a direct message. And don't forget the challenge, inspire confidence in at least 10 people. I think that's a great challenge to give to our viewers. I am going to do that challenge as I've done some of the other challenges recently, which we haven't talked about. We should do a show on the challenges that we did.
We should.
Yeah. Might be a very short show, but we'll try it. It'll be Anyway, guys, thanks so much. We'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Ooh.